This is the Rolling with Tay Podcast. I'm your host, Tasia, aka Tay, and this is episode 32. And my guest today is Troy Alston. He is an elite competitive stair climber. We'll get into that. He's an athlete and he's the founder of Stair Climb Elite. He has so many accolades. I can't name them all, but we'll get into that as well. Thank you again for being a guest on the podcast, Troy. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. We connected maybe about a year ago. It's right around, I believe you were about to do a duathlon or it was something about a duathlon.
Yeah. And that's actually how I came across you and your content. I was looking for more information about first timers, and this was my first duathlon. And I found your channel, found your video, the one that you did in, I think it was Central Park, New York. Yep. So looked at your information, and then eventually I did mine as well. But yeah, that's how I came across your content and found you.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's super dope. I wanted to make that video because when I was doing my first duathlon, I really couldn't find videos about like first timers. Like there were videos out there, but none about the like from start to finish, the transition and everything. So that's why I made the video. And I'm glad I did because it connected to both of us.
Yeah, it was very helpful.
I'm gonna be totally honest. Once we started following each other, like I looked at your page, we did the same thing, we cheered each other on, and I'm thinking you're just another like multi um multi-sport athlete, which you are, but your main thing is stair climbing.
Yes.
This is how I am. Your name on Instagram is Stair Climbing Elite or Stair Climb Elite, right? But
Correct.
it just
Yep.
goes over I'm just thinking, okay, I'm looking at because again, we connected over duathlon. So I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. I'm looking and I would see like you post your medals and your accomplishments. Looking, and then one day I'm like, wait a minute, stair climbing elite? Like what? Competitive stair climb? I was like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, wait a minute. And I reached out to you. I was like, hey, do you want to do an interview? And when you said yes, I was like, great. Then I went to YouTube, and this is a thing. This is called tower running.
Exactly. Yes.
And I had heard of a race here, and you recommended it to me, as well as another friend mentioned it to me. He said that you can race up the Empire State Building.
Yep.
I was like, okay, that's a challenge, but okay, cool, And people do this all over the world. They climb stairs, they race up stairs. Like
Exactly.
this is the ultimate, I think, damn running a marathon, run up the Empire State Building. Let's see how fast you could do that. But before we get into that, let's start at the beginning and how you even became, this elite athlete.
It's funny. So my backgrounds come from running. I'm a track and field athlete at heart. That's my first love. I love track and field. And I used to run the 400-meter hurdles. Ran 400 hurdles. Well, actually, so down here, in high school, we run the 300-meter hurdles. That's the long hurdles for us. And then the further north you get, and even I believe out west, you guys in high school run the 400-meter hurdles. But we don't start running the 400 hurdles until we get to the collegiate level. So in college, I ran the 400 hurdles. I had aspirations of going to the Olympic trials, eventually going to the Olympic Games and running professional track. That's really what I wanted to do. And back in 2012, they think they still have the same standard, but they used to have an A standard and a B standard. And I needed 2.9 seconds or 3 seconds if you want to round up to get the B standard in the 400 hurdles. And my motto, and I still live by this today, is if you want something that you never had, you have to do something you never did to get that. So I found competitive stair climbing. Now, the first climb I did was in Orlando, Florida. It's 25 floors. So I thought it was going to be a piece of cake. And I was training in a six-floor parking garage. And just to put into perspective, I was clearing those six floors between 18 and 19 seconds. So I started doing the math. I was like, oh, okay, I can do 25 floors easy. I can just do this over and over. It's like six floors repeated. Well, I got into the event, got to about the 18th floor, and the bear jumped on my back. I mean, it was terrible. It was so hard. I could barely lift my legs. My lungs were burning, and I struggled to finish the race. And I'm a person that likes to be challenged. Because I was that challenged and that exhausted, I wanted to do another race. Now, I finished that race second place in the time of 3 minutes and 5 seconds. And we'll come back to the Orlando climb in a minute. 1 month later, I did my second climb in Fort Lauderdale, which was 30 floors, 512 steps. I ended up winning that race and setting a new course record. And I finished that race in 2 minutes and 51 seconds. So I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I wonder if it's more races. So the next year I did my research and I just did stair climbing from there on out. I was kind of hooked from there. Fast forward to today, going back to that Orlando climb, my personal best is 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So I've worked that hard to get all those seconds off. And that's kind of how I got started in the sport. Today, I travel the world and compete in competitive stair climbing. A lot of the climbs here in the United States are charity based.
Okay.
But when you get outside of the United States and Europe and Asia, those races are specifically for competition, which means you can actually win prize money. Sometimes you get an appearance fee for coming. So it's strictly competitive. But I enjoy doing it. It's a win-win for me. The ones that's here in the United States that I say are charity based, I look at it as I get to go push my limits at these events. However, you have to pay and donate to go to the events. So that money goes towards finding a cure or actually making somebody else's life better. So it's a win-win. You know, I'm pushing myself, but I'm also helping somebody in the process.
Wow. That is that's amazing. And that's really good that you do this, or that these races are like you said, donation based, and
Yes.
um helping finding a cure for something like that is really important. And kudos for you for doing that. And there's one that what is the main one that you do? I
So, the American Lung Association.
Okay,
So
yeah,
that,
that's it. Yeah.
yeah, that's the primary charity that I typically do, probably because they host a lot of races. So I'm based here in Florida. Just to kind of give you context about the Florida system, I currently have every course record for the American Lung Association, not only in Florida, but in the southeast of the United States. I've been climbing for 15 years now, and I have done a total of 80 American Lung Association climbs to date, 12/20/2025. I timestamp that because it's still climbing.
Yeah, you still climbing.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. So after you decided like this is gonna be my thing, like I'm I like a challenge as well. So I understand, like, all right, even if you are defeated, you're like, all right, I'm going back and
Exactly.
I'm gonna try to beat that time or that score or what have you. So, okay, now what did your family and your friends say when you said when you
It's different. The sport itself is different. It's like when I was doing track and field. Track is something that you can easily observe. You can go, you can sit in the stands, you can watch me run a lap around the track. But competitive stair climbing, it always gets a double take. They're like, you're doing what? You're traveling where to do what? So I get a lot of confused looks sometimes. My family have grown more receptive. They're very supportive of my dreams now. But when I first started, they were a bit lost and taken back. And so were a lot of people in my circle because they've never heard of it before.
right. So have any of them like participated?
Yeah. Couple years ago, on the other side of the world's pandemic, I don't want to say words. I don't know if this is sensitive or not. I actually got my grandmother to do it. Just to give you context, my grandmother just turned 65.
Wow.
Yeah, she actually did the stair climb with me in Jacksonville, so that was definitely an accomplishment for me to get her to come out and join me. I'm still working on my mom, still working on my sister to get them out there. But a lot of people who find out what I do, they are interested, they want to participate, so they come out and join at least for one climb.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I, I'm interested.
yeah,
I I don't know how I would do because okay, so I saw a couple videos. Does
okay.
everyone like take off at the same time and is it like nudging to try to get up the stairway and how is
That,
it?
that's a good question. So you mentioned statement and your new ones. Okay, so there's actually two more climbs up that way that comes to mind, like off the top of mind. The other one, in addition to the New York or Empire State Building, excuse me, is one pin. I think it's about 55 floors. So we're going to compare Empire State Building and the One Penn Building. Empire State Building has an elite category. Within the elite field, it's typically about 20 to 30 now. If you look at old videos, it used to be a ton more, probably like 50 to 100 people, but they slimmed it down to 20 people. And what they do is they blow an air horn, and once the horn go off for the starting gun, those 20 people shoot towards the start line at one time. So it's 20 people trying to get through a single little doorway, and you really want to be in the top three. That's kind of how you want to be because you seed yourself automatically. It's very hard to pass on the stairs. It's possible, but it's really hard. You burn more energy. Okay, but that's the Empire State Building. And one pin tower is pretty much a time trial format. So let's say, for example, I start at 9 o'clock. 30 seconds later, the next person goes, then 30 seconds later, the next person goes. So what it really boils down to in the average stair climb event is really a race that's you versus you. So you're in this stairwell, you got these four walls, and it's just you. You're listening to yourself, you're breathing heavy, your lungs are burning, and that's where you learn a lot about yourself. And that's really what I like about the sport of stair climbing because it teaches you that you're stronger than you think you are. It teaches you how to overcome that. When your legs are burning, you want to stop. You find another gear to keep going, to keep climbing, to take one more step, one more floor. And the beautiful thing is, if you can take one more step, one more floor in the stairwell, when your legs want to fall off and it feels like you can't go any further, there's nothing in life that you can't overachieve. And it's a beautiful lesson that you learn in the stairwell. And I think that's one of the lessons that I always keep with me, even when I'm done with stair climbing, is overcoming hard times, overcoming adversity because I've overcame myself, I've conquered myself. And that's the thing I love about stair climbing.
That's a great way to put it. Um and okay, so Empire State is like you said the elite, so you have to like qualify for that.
Yeah, so there is two governing bodies. You have Tower Running World Association. This is the international governing body for stair climbing. They have all of the climbs in the world on their website, but they also have a ranking system. So they rank and grade every single climber, and they have like who's ranked number one, two, three, etc. And then you have Tower Running USA. That's more designated towards us, the United States. And your ranking, if you're able to get invited in the elites, really depend on your international ranking or your USA ranking. So if you are against good standing with both of those, then you're more likely to get invited to the Empire State Building to participate in the elite heat. It just really depends on your ranking. Something else they'll look at too is how well have you performed in a race that's over 60 floors? Because Empire State is 86 floors. So if you've done fairly well in the 70, 75 floors, your chances are really good that you might get invited.
Now, what about one pin?
One pin is 55 floors. I haven't done that one yet. I've seen pictures of the stairwell. It looks extremely steep. That's 55 floors of steepness. That doesn't look too friendly or inviting to me, but um it's definitely on my list because I would like to do at least every building at least once. If it's on a Saturday, of course.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So I so what you're saying is I have to get some like competitions in under my belt before I can like even touch these.
Well, you have to get competitions in if you want to participate in the elite or be considered as an elite. Which brings up a really good point. So in stair climbing, the term elite is subjective, right? It's where you look at elite in track and field or elite in basketball, a lot of times it's associated with superior athletic performance. Well, elite in stair climbing is, while it is associated with elite performance, it's also associated with a stair climb enthusiast. So if you just go from climb to climb and you really like to climb, you can be categorized as an elite athlete because you've done so many climbs and you're experienced with the climb, which is how I came up with the name Stair Climb Elite for my brand. It's not really about being elite in your performance, but it's inclusive for everybody.
And I like that because I have that, I wear that, I feel like the average everyday person, right, can
Yes,
be an elite athlete, right? Can be
absolutely.
an elite stair climber, an elite triathlete or what have you. So I think, words do like have power. Like, okay, now I, I'm rocking your shirt, your brand. I'm an elite stair climber. Like, let me tell you, I may only climb one set of stairs, but I'm elite. Okay. So that's good to know. All right, so for a beginner, I'm looking into this. I just found out about this. Where should I start? What would you recommend if I want to like dibble and dabble into this sport?
I would definitely start with the old saying, crawl before you walk. So, if you can find a shorter climb, I would say that would probably be ideal instead of jumping in too deep. But it's going to be really important when you start your first climb that you start slow. Don't There's a lot of videos, as you mentioned. There's a lot on the internet that you can look at, but take it with a grain of salt. You want to do what's best for you. You want to find a plan that works best for you. I would go to the stairs, find some stairs, and start walking up, just to kind of get used to the feeling of going up and down. Uh, Quick tidbit: you'll notice a lot of times when you go up the stairs, and a lot of people point this out, they feel more winded. Well, that's because when we go up the stairs, we typically hold our breath, and you should breathe normally as if you're walking and running. And this is just a little thing that we don't really think about. But if you're going up 40 flights or 50 flights of stairs, you want to make sure that you're definitely breathing. You don't want to hold your breath for 40 floors. So I would definitely start slow, get into a regiment, maybe walk like 5 minutes on the stairs, 10 minutes here and there, and then start to add on to it. Me personally, when I do my workouts, my mindset when I train is to think, can I do the last 10 floors as good as I did the first 10 floors? Because everybody can do the first 10. You're fresh, you got all this energy, but can you maintain form? Can you maintain pace and rhythm when you get to the last 10? And that's always the goal and mindset.
I live in a building. I live on pretty high floor. So
Nice.
I and unfortunately sometimes the elevators is acting up and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna walk up the stairs.
There you go.
I'm gonna walk down the stairs. Walking down is much easier than walking up. But I walk up the stairs and I definitely feel the like, whew. But I think sometimes I'm trying to race the elevator because I'm like, should I wait for the elevator? Nah, I'm gonna walk up the stairs, and I think I'm going too fast to try to beat the elevator. So that could be a one reason why I feel winded. But there has been times where I'm just leisurely walking, and I'm like, golly, I don't know if I should have taken the stairs. Should have waited for the elevator. And I'm walking, so I can imagine like running. That's different. Walking is okay.
Yeah.
Running, uh, I barely want to run now, but now up the stairs. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, all right, so start off slow. Crawl before you walk. Definitely go to a set of stairs. If you live in a building, great. Walk a few flight of stairs. How do I? All right, but I wanna run. I wanna be a stair climber. I just don't wanna walk up the steps. What else can
Oh,
I
yeah. So you would have to intensify your workouts a little bit more. Stair climbing is very high intensity. So just to kind of give you background about like my training schedule, like how I typically train. I train in a boxing gym. We have a gym here called Title Boxing. It's more cardio based. It's not contact oriented really. They will come around and you can do the focus mitts here and there. But those classes are very high intense. So I typically take those classes every day, every other day of the week. And that's how I build a very strong foundation. Um, when it comes to foundation, I think about it like this. Like when you build a house, you want to build a house on concrete and not sand. So if you're well conditioned, you're building that house on concrete. It allows you to recover. It allows you to do more intense workouts versus if you build on sand, no conditioning, then when you go to do hard workouts, it's harder to recover. It's harder for your body to actually absorb those workouts. Okay, so going back to those workouts that I do, the title boxing gym that works the entire body. Weightlifting is good. When you lift weights for competitive stair climbing and even some aspects of track, every coach is different, every athlete is different. You want to lift for strength and not mass. When I say strength, so there's different types of strength. We have strength where I can pick up 3,000 pounds or 300 pounds, to give you an example. But then we have the strength where I can maintain 60 seconds for 10 floors in a 40-story building. That's strength as well. And that's the kind of strength you want. I found that Olympic lifts are really good for building that strength. Clean and jerk, cleans, power lifts, those are excellent. So that's in my training regimen. Cycling. Cycling is at the top. Um, some of the best stair climbers in the past have been cyclists. The current course record for the Empire State Building is 9 minutes and 33 seconds. Was set by Australian cyclist Paul Craik. He's the only man to break 10 minutes in the Empire State Building, and he was a professional cyclist. Yeah.
So
So,
I have a chance in this sport. That's what you're
yeah,
telling me.
exactly. You do. You have a really good chance. And of course, I like to run as well. So I typically do long runs, 8 kilometers or 45 minutes. I did do my first half marathon a few years ago, which was a lot of fun. And I do track and field intervals as well. So you just want to mix it up, but the main goal is to make sure you're doing a lot of high intensity workouts because that's what you're going to be doing in the stairwell. And the cherry on top is a lot of stair reps as well. So it's better if you can get in an actual building and train on stairs versus not having a building. This is my personal perspective. Some climbers might have different perspectives as well when it comes to that, but I found that putting in actual reps on the stairs is a lot better. Also, if you can get inside of a stairwell in a building, it's going to be a little bit better than running in a stadium. And here is why. If you're doing 5 floors in the building, 6 or 7, it's a continuous movement. You don't have time to recover. When you do a stadium, you shoot up and then you walk back down and run. The stadium is really good for plyometrics. It's good for working on your turnover because you need that too in the stairwell. But to really burn your legs and simulate what you're going to feel, the stairwell is ideal. And you can do it in a 5-floor building or a 6-floor building. I actually have a 6-floor parking garage that I train in often, and I just do reps over and over and over.
So, 2 questions. One, just the way my brain thinks. So, what if someone like you're running up, right? And then someone falls. Do you keep going or no you keep going? Are you even like paying attention? And then I know there's a medical team, so is there a medical team like on each floor? How does that work?
So
You get
if
injured.
somebody falls, you probably won't know unless you're in an Empire State Building type event because that's the only mass start. I do believe there's also a few races in Asia where it's a mass start. So that's probably the only time you would see somebody fall or hear. As far as medical staff, there are water stations. So for example, in Orlando, the 25-floor climb that I did, I think the water station is on the 15th, maybe the 20th, and then of course the 25th. So it's like staggered in between the climb.
All right, good. That's good. And then another question I had. So you're skipping steps, right? You're not
Yes.
just, you're like, how many steps are you skipping?
It depends on the building. So no two buildings are alike. Um, there's a Bank of America here in Tampa, where I am right now, and then there's a Bank of America back home in Jacksonville, where I'm from. Both are 42 floors, but Tampa is 914 steps, and Jacksonville is 836 steps. The difference is Tampa, it's a steep building, but it allows you to take 2 to 3 steps at a time, where Jacksonville is super steep and you only can take two at a time. Now, you could take three, but you have to be conservative with your leg strength and endurance because the more steps you take, the more you burn yourself out. Versus taking 2 steps, you can be more consistent and conserve your energy and you can go a lot further. Hotels are my favorite. I love hotels. Hotel steps are extremely short, so even if it's a 25-story building, you literally can take 3 steps all the way to the top because they're not very steep. Um, I just did a climb in the Netherlands. I think you saw a couple weeks ago. It was at a university, but the steps were extremely steep. I did take 2 to 3 all the way to the top, but I was exhausted and burned out by the time I got to the finish line. So it really depends on the building and the step profile.
Okay. Are you able to hold on to the railing?
Yes.
Okay, so you're able to pull yourself up. Are
Yeah.
you able to do that?
Yeah, actually that's the better for me. I really like to climb that way. I like to use both of the handrails and you turn a stair climbing workout or a stair climbing event from just a lower body workout to a full body, which goes back to training in the boxing gym where it's a full body workout. You're conditioned to do that. There are a lot of climbs, for example, Taipei 101 in Taiwan. This stairwell is extremely wide, so you only have access to one rail. It's too far to reach the other one. So you have to learn how to use that one rail. It becomes more of a lower body exercise, but there are a few techniques with the rail that you can do. It's one called the rope pull, where it's kind of hand over hand, and you do that all the way to the top. I don't like that technique. I prefer to use two at a time and save the legs and use my upper body, but that is an option for you as well.
Right. I'm getting down my techniques. I'm trying to figure out. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I want to go to a different country and do this. It just seems so. I like to travel anyway, and
Yeah,
to do an event there, it's like I came all the way here, like you said, mentioned earlier, like yeah, to do this event, to
yeah.
climb some stairs. Well, first of all, let me tell you, like people already think I'm this, I'm crazy, I'm adventurous, which I am.
Yep.
But now let me introduce stair climbing to them. I'm going to Taiwan to go to
Yeah, it's different.
like, okay, and they're gonna be supportive because they, that's how my people are. They just like yours. They're gonna be like, okay, you go on ahead. I'll come with you. I'll support. But yeah, they're gonna like do a double take. Like, "Wait, what? I climb some stairs?
Yeah.
This is a sport? It is. Wow. Yeah, it got me thinking. Like, okay, so if I was to go someplace else out of the country to to um to participate, are these like beginner friendly events or these are like um I'm we go back to elite. I'm in the elite stair climber and this is not for a beginner. This is not
So every every stair climb, even the one that's targeted towards elite, there's an option for the beginner. So there's a climb in Vienna, Austria. They have it every it's 50 floors. The way they typically do it in Europe and some are a little bit different, but I've noticed that they let everybody go first. So if you're just signing up, this your first time, you get to go first. They let everybody, the enthusiasts, everybody get to go first, and then at the very end of the competition, the elite stair climbers go. So it's typically separated. They separate the categories as well. So the elite, we typically compete specifically within our elite category, and then everybody else, it's like a 5K. They compete in overall and age group.
okay.
So you'll never feel like where I'm outside of my element unless you go to an elite event and sign up and race with the elites. But if you go to an everyday climb, you'll be fine.
All right. All right. Yes. So what should people search to find out more information? Should they search um stair climbing, tower running? Should they go to your site? Well, they should go to your site to find out
Yeah,
more about you. But
absolutely.
what where should they go to find out information about this sport?
There's several options. So towerrunning.com. Yeah, towerrunning.com is definitely an option. There's a race tab. You can go there, see every race that's coming up for that month, the next month, etc. You can also do Tower Running US. Well, Tower Running USA is more so for points. I wouldn't go there. There is a race calendar, but yeah, to go to towerrunning.com is going to be your best solution. You can also go to Google, type in upcoming stair climbs in the US, and Running USA actually does a good job of keeping the stair climbs on there as well. And that's a win-win too, because a lot of people go there to find 5Ks, 10Ks, and half marathons, so you can also find stair climbs on that site as well. A lot of times it's stair climbs on that site that's not on Tower Running, so I kind of look on both.
Writing this stuff down because it is I'm gonna do it 2026. I'm going to dip my foot in the tower
Yeah.
running. um we don't know how far this is gonna go. I always say that about things, and then you know months later, like, guess where I'm going? For tower runways.
Oh, so I will say recommendation if you do decide to leave the country to compete. I would recommend going in September, and if you're open to it, probably go to like Europe. And the reason I say that is I try to do the same thing every year. By going in September, there typically climbs almost every weekend, and the train is extremely efficient. So once you get in the country or a country, you can literally take the train from country to country. There's like a race in Vienna on a Thursday night. You can hop on a train and go do a race in Germany on Saturday. You can stay a week, sightsee, and do one more race on a Saturday before you depart the next week. You can just kind of do a whole tour, and I like doing that. I just tour the country a little bit.
That you get more bang for your buck,
You do, exactly.
going out for one race,
Yes,
and then you're gone, because from what I'm hearing, these races are pretty quick.
they are. It's funny because there are a lot of races in Germany that are sprint races, which they're like 10 floors, 8 floors, which is my cup of tea. I love sprint races. 25 floors, 20 floors, but then you have some of the longer 60 floor races. A lot of the longer climbs are going to be in like Asia. For example, there is a stair climb marathon. I haven't done it yet, but it's in China and it's 123 floors. I like to do it just to do it. I don't know how competitive I would actually be at that distance, but just to say I've done it, get the medal, get the T-shirt.
Okay.
Yeah,
You said in China? China.
yeah. There are a ton of races in China, a lot of long climbs as well.
This is this is helpful. Oh man. Wow. Wow. Okay. So I see what your training is like. How's recovery after the race?
Uh, that's been something I've been noticing. So once upon a time when I was younger in my 20s, I'm 38 now. Um, I used to get bounced back. I can compete on Saturday, take Sunday off, and I'm ready to go back to training on Monday. So now training, oh, recovery for me is about 2 days now. So I probably need Monday and Tuesday. I can crawl back into something on a Monday, so I at least need about 48 hours to recover fully. Um, but training and competing in stair climbing can be very gruesome. It's a tough sport, especially on the legs. You definitely want to take care of yourself. I recommend ice baths. I know I don't know how many people actually do ice baths anymore, but it can be very hard. It's definitely something you have to focus to do because it's extremely cold.
Mm-hmm.
Cryotherapy is good as well. Cryotherapy is like taking an ice bath, but without the wetness.
Okay.
So that's something else I recommend. I normally get a lot of massages. I have a massage membership, and I try to get a massage before a stair climb, but it's also good after to help recovery as well to kind of flush the lactic acid out of your legs.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So, can you talk about what Stair Climb Elite is?
Yeah, so Stair Climb Elite is my personal brand. Created it a few years ago. And I just recently redid the logo during the whole pandemic. I had plenty of time, of course, we all did. So it was a way for me to kind of brand my efforts. It was a way for me to kind of establish myself. So I've been doing this for 15 years now. I'm up to 146 climbs, and I wanted a way to kind of staple that into history. So I created Stair Climb Elite, the brand, and it's a series of like hoodies like this. A lot of my shirts have motivational quotes on them, and it's just a way to kind of wear something to show that you're part of something that everybody does, but you're also part of something that anybody can do. Stair Climb Elite is, again, it's for the elite, but it's also for the everyday person that want to challenge themselves and do something different. Um, I have people from all walks of life that wear the apparel, so yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely going to support.
Thank
And
you.
of course, and then I'm going to like put people onto this because I was talking to some friends, and one of my friends wanted me to ask you if you ever get nauseous, like as you're running up the stairs.
So, yeah, because they're so short and it's spinning, you will be dizzy at the top. You'll be dizzy, short of breath. Um, there will be a taste, like a metallic taste in your mouth.
Mm.
All of this is normal. You get extreme oxygen depth. You also have something called trachea. When you get to the top, it's a cough. It's like a never-ending cough, and that's because your airway is eroded from trying to suck in so much air. It's very limited air in the stairwell, which is normal as well. So to answer your question, you do get nauseous, you get dizzy, and the first thing you do when you get to the top is you want to lay down.
I can imagine.
People, when you get to the top, they hand you your medal a lot of times and a bottle of water, and they talk to you, but it's so hard to talk. I just want to find somewhere to just to lay down.
Yeah, I'd be right there, laid out on the floor. Yeah. I just breathing, no words coming out.
Yeah.
I yeah, I've been there. I just had another question. So can the climbers wear hydration packs?
As long as it's no leaking of the
Right.
or anything. I had an experience about that. Over the summer, I did a climb, and I'm not saying the name because I don't want to out them or like make it look bad or anything. They actually had water stations in the stairwell, which is normal to have a water station, but the floor around the water station was extremely slippery, which is a no-go. That can cause an injury, so you have to be extremely careful if you wear it. Make sure that it's attached to you, there's no leaks. I also want to just remind you, like when you stair climb, you want to be as light as possible. If you do wear a hydration pack, that's extra weight that you have to carry up. If you train for it, perfect. Yeah, wear it. And then again, you also have to think about like what's your purpose for doing a stair climb? Are you doing it to be competitive and win a medal and set a course record? Or if you are you just doing it for the sense of accomplishment? If you're doing it for accomplishment, of course, wear hydration pack, take your cell phone, make videos. This is an experience. Stair climbing is an experience. It's something that you get to keep with you. You get to look at a building when you drive past it and say, I climbed that. I conquered that. And of course, don't forget those lessons about pushing yourself and finding out who you truly are. And I think that's really what it's all about. It makes it very special.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I just thought about the hydration pack because it's right in front of me, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if you could instead of stopping, you know. But you're right. The reason why you're doing this, if you're doing this for time, then of course you're just gonna go on up. But if you are a novice like myself and you're like, I'm just doing this just to do it,
Yeah. Yeah.
trust me, I'm taking my time, drinking water, people, taking pictures, like, wow, So, okay, all right.
For a lot of the elites, myself included, water stations is just a marker for how much further I have to go. That's it. If I hear people cheering, I'm like, okay, this is floor 15. Because I don't like to look at the floors. That can be mentally demoralizing if you got 60 floors to do a 50 floors and you look up and you're on the 25th floor. It's
Ah,
like, wait,
mm-hmm.
hold up. And I've noticed a lot of the buildings up north too, and in Europe. I have to explain something about Europe that's pretty funny. There are a lot of like blank floors, floor A, B, C, and then you look up and it's three. I'm like, wait, I just
Oh,
climbed 7 floors. And so something to keep in mind too when you go to Europe if you compete, the ground is floor zero. You have to go up the stairs to get to floor one. And that's not like here. Like if you're on the ground level, that's floor one, and then the next step is two. So when you first see that, it kind of throws you for a loop until you get used to it.
okay. I'll keep that in mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on floor 10 already. Actually, you're on floor 5. Like what? So how can your family and friends watch you? Can they go to I'll be on floor 15? Like how with marathons and different running races and cycling events, people can be stationed at certain areas. But with this, is it they're waiting on the floor, or they'll just see you after you're done? Like, we're at the top, or we'll be waiting at the bottom, or can they um be at different water stations? How can they view you?
So certain climb, well, every climb is different when it comes to that. A lot of climbs, they will allow people to go up to the top and wait for you. So typically you'll see the person leave at the start line and you can go up to the top. But a lot of times there's restrictions. So a lot of these climbs are in buildings that has high security, which is a challenge with stair climbing. It's a security. So you can't. But I'm noticing that a lot of climbs are coming more of a spectator sport and they're putting cameras in the stairwell. So they might have a camera on floor 15 or floor 30 and you can just go sit in a common area and you can watch your loved one actually climb the steps and see how they look. I did a climb in Albuquerque last season and they actually had a camera at the beginning, floor 10 and then floor 20, which was really neat to see because I can see exactly how my rhythm is and make sure that I'm making the correct faces for the camera. When I see
Yeah, yeah. When I do my events, I see the cameraman. Even if I'm like, I see them, I'm like, I do that.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm learning a lot. And I think the audience is too. You know,
awesome. Yeah.
this is a question you probably get. I'm gonna
Okay.
ask it. Are you the only black person when you go to these events? Do you are you I know there are other black people, right? That are participate in this event. Probably not many. It's
Yeah.
probably you and maybe one other person.
This is true. Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to know, like, are you typically the only black person there that
Um,
participates?
so you're correct. In the United States, and it's more like if it's a charity event, there will be more representation. When you go to Europe, yeah, I'm like the only. But that's something that I hold very proudly. I like that I'm making waves and I can be representation around the world in a sport that's not typically done. Like we have that in like golf or race car or like Formula One, for example. I think it's important to have that representation and even be the first. So yeah, I'm happy to say that I am. I don't really think about it. Sometimes I think about it, like when we do a group picture, I'm like, oh, well, it's just me. But it also places a lot of like pressure on you to a certain degree too, because I know like when I want to show up and make sure that I perform to the best of my ability, and make sure that I do represent.
Right, right, right. Yeah, that's what's up. And you are representing. You're
Thank you.
representing for America.
Yeah.
Then for people from Florida, you represent a lot.
This is true. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, yeah. Because some events that I go to, I look around sometimes. I'm like, "Am I the only black person here?" Or I may not be the only one, but it's a handful of us. And which is okay. Um, of course, I would like to see more, but as long as that, like you said, someone is out there representing, you know, That's what that really, really counts. Like, so
Well,
yeah.
also say when I was doing my first duathlon, it's another step I was looking into as well, to see what type of representation was there. Then I found like your content. I was like, oh, this is dope. This is representation on so many levels. Like you're African American, you're a woman on top of that. I was like, okay, let me check this out. And it was very informative. Like I actually watched your video a couple times to make sure I had everything down packed and make sure I was set. So it was a great experience for me too to do my first duathlon as well.
Yeah. Thank you again for watching.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you think you'll do more?
Duathlons? It's possible because when it comes to competitive stair climbing, after May, the scene here in the United States dry up. So unless you're traveling to Europe, it's not many races here. It's a few stadium climbs, but like July, August, it's typically nothing to do in regards to stair climbing. So I like to cross train and find something else to do. So yeah, I'll probably do more duathlons. The cycling is phenomenal. It's actually pretty hard too. When you get off the bike for cycling 10 miles and then you try to run a 5K, it's actually hard to pick your legs up and run.
It
So it's
is.
challenging.
It is. Yeah, you talk about legs being like bricks. That
Yes.
first run, I'm good. Like you said, I'm fresh. I'm like,
Yeah,
woo, I got this. That get on that bike, it's like, okay, I'm starting to feel this now. This is just, but at least I'm sitting down.
true.
That second run, it's like, I just feel like walking. All right, just. I know people that were done after that bike ride. Like, all right, well, all right, this is it. This is the duathlon. The running the bike. I'm not running again. Over the summer, no, actually in October, I went down to Miami and did the Miami inline marathon. So
Sweet.
they had a portion where you could run and then skate. I did the 10K run, and then maybe about 45 minutes to an hour later, I did a half marathon skate.
Yes. Wow.
I was it was it was something. But going back to I like challenges. I want to push myself to see if I could do this thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, the legs felt like felt like bricks there.
I can imagine.
But it wasn't so bad. So, so thinking about all that, I'm like, okay, maybe I could give this stair climbing a chance. Give it a try.
I think with also your adventurous side and the amount of things that you like to do in your training, it's gonna be a lot easier than you expect because cross training helps a lot with stair climbing. I will say stair climbing also helps your running a lot too. I found that when do a lot of stair sessions and then I go run, it's like my legs just turn over, turn over, turn over by themselves because you're so used to climbing. When you run flat, it's easier.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I'll add stair climbing in, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna climb some stairs either way, right? Whether it's training, cross training, or it's actually an event,
Yep.
I'm gonna add it into my routine. Okay. I'm actually taking notes here. I'm actually taking notes here. Okay. So what's next up for you? 2026, what's on the calendar?
So I would like to do more races internationally. Trying to work on a few sponsorship deals. Right now, everything's out of pocket. So the sport can be very pricey, it can be very expensive. It's almost like golf. You're paying for everything out of your pocket. There are a handful of climbs that you might get invited to. For example, we have something called the Tower Running Tour. And if you go to a race that's on the tour on that circuit, based on your ranking, a lot of times you can get 2 night of your hotels paid for. You might get travel reimbursement. And of course, if you place, you get money back. But coming from the United States, going to Europe or going to Asia can be pricey. The ticket by itself adds up. So I've been working to try to find a sponsor so I can just focus more on training. I do give a shout out to Walmart. So Walmart, I work overnight on Walmart's on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and that's how I cover a lot of my entry fees and travel. So it's been phenomenal, but it just takes a lot of energy, which kind of takes away from the training. So
Right, right, right. You know what? Good luck with getting a sponsor. Like, I hope you get it. Because I see that you're really passionate about this.
yes,
And you're very knowledgeable. I think you should, I don't know, open up a camp or something. I have no idea. Like, because this is so it's so interesting to me.
yeah,
And like just seeing how stair climbing can translate into other sports, like you said, um, with the cross training and getting more people into the sport, and that's why, like, I'm glad that you have your brand because, like I mentioned earlier, I'll rock your brand, and people will probably be like, "Oh yeah, school shirt. What's that about?" Oh, let me tell you,
yeah,
because I'm just gonna go out here and say it. I don't think most people know that this is an actual sport
right.
that people do and that you can participate in. I don't think the average person knows, like, oh, okay, cool. They may know, like, oh, you can do this, the charity, which, they may say, oh, yeah, 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 I participate in a couple of those, but they don't probably actually know that people compete competitively all over the world in this sport, you
This is
know?
true. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
um, yeah, I think, with you bringing awareness with your brand and, um, and your content, I think, people and sponsors will gravitate to you because this is something.
yeah. Thank you.
As you can tell, I'm really like intrigued about this. Like, this is
Yeah, I get that a lot. It's funny when people find out that it is a thing. They always have a lot of curiosity. It starts so many conversations. Like when they asked about some of the shirts. Like I have a shirt that says "Born to Climb." That shirt actually get a lot of attention, and because it speaks a lot of volume. It could be for stair climbing, but it can be in life as well. So a lot of people ask questions, or they ask, "Well, what is stair climb elite?" or "What is stair climb?" And I was like, "Oh, well, actually, I'm a competitive stair climber. I travel the world stair climb." And they'd be like, "Really?" And then I'm standing there for 15 minutes explaining everything. So it's a great conversation starter.
I'm sure it is. That is great. Okay. So, next year, hopefully get a sponsor and do more international climbs.
Yes. And there's a few of the things that I'm working on. I kind of mentioned something to you behind the scenes, but I hate to do this to the audience because they're probably like, well, what is it?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
It's in the workings. It's looking really good. And as soon as I find out, I'll definitely let you know if you want to share it with the audience.
Of course, I will. Dope, dope, dope. Like, yes. Um, okay. All right, all right. You got a lot of things in the future, in the works. Maybe I'll get a chance to meet you in person at an event.
Yes.
Um, so with the charity events, I'll just have to raise money, donate. How can I like participate in a stair climbing event that's charity based?
So, give you some information to the first one, obviously, is the American Lung Association. If you go to fightforericclimb.org,
Fight for every
they
climb.
have, yeah, fightforericclimb.org. They have every stair climb that they host throughout the United States. There are a lot of climbs to choose. There's a lot up north as well. A lot in New York, Pennsylvania. I don't think they have any in New Jersey. But if you go to thebigclimb.org, this organization focuses on leukemia or blood cancer, finding a cure for that. But they have climbs throughout the country as well. But they have a climb in like New Jersey. There's one in New York. So going back to your question, how do you raise the funds? So I do so many. I normally pay for the donations out of pocket
Mm,
because it can be repetitive asking the same people followers for donation, donation, donations throughout the year. So I pay for it out of pocket. The beautiful thing about Walmart, they have a corporate match. So if I pay X amount of dollars, they'll match that. So
Wow,
that's an option for you.
that's great.
Or for anybody that's watching that want to participate, corporate matches, you could ask people for donations if you only do a minimum amount of stair climbing. Or you can just pay for it out of pocket. Again, if you pay for it out of pocket, it's still a win-win that those funds are going to help somebody.
Right. Okay. All right. So I'll look up those sites. I'll visit those sites. So where can people find more about you? Where can they follow your journey?
Okay, so stairclimber.com is my personal website. Troy Alston on Facebook is how to find me there. Stair Climb Elite on Instagram, Stair Climb Elite on Twitter, and I'm working on it. It's getting there. If you type in Troy Alston in Google, there are search results there as well. So,
All right. All right. All right. Okay. 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 Any final words before we wrap?
yeah, I would just like to urge people to follow their dreams, follow their passions. If it's scary, it's normally the right thing. Step out, start. If you think about it too much, you're going to be thinking about it next year and the year after that. You have to start where you are, build from there. I don't care what it is. Part of my journey, other than competing in stair climbing, is for people to see what I'm doing and follow their passions, whether it's on the stairs, whether it's starting a business, starting their own brand. We get one life, use it to the fullest. Do your thing. Don't worry about what people think about you. Just be unique. We're all are as unique as our fingerprints. Everybody has a different fingerprint.
Yeah.
So, leave your fingerprint, build your legacy.
Like that. Like that. Come on, Troy. Go ahead. Motivational
Yeah,
speaker.
that's in the works.
Go. Oh man, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. I learned so much. I'm sure the audience did as well. Um, I'm so interested in stair climbing and
Thank you.
giving it a try, and anything I can do to help, push your brand and get stair climbing out there to more people. Let's do it, because this is let's go. Like, we gotta be in this sport, man. Let's go. Let's go.
Absolutely.
And I'll definitely be ordering some apparel from you. And like I said, I'll be listen, I've already started talking about you. Don't let me get the t-shirt, the hoodie, everything. What is this? You want to know what this is? I'm gonna tell you. You got Instagram? Let me show you something. But for real, it really has been a pleasure. And again, thank you so much. And I wish you nothing but the best. And I will
Thank
be
you.
following the journey. And like I said, hopefully I get a chance to meet you at one of these events. And yeah, hopefully I'll be laid out on the floor after I'm just thinking about it got me. So we'll take a picture before, because after, I don't know, you might not.
I understand that.
Probably my last one. I mean, one and done. That's it. All right. This is the Rolling with Tay Podcast. I'm your host, Tasia, aka Tay. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments if you ever heard of stair climbing or tower running. And would you give it a try? Peace.